before I got my results. I had already taken the job in one of the back offices in Ahmedabad. The first objection came from my father. So he wanted to see me as a software engineer. During my articleship, I had an experience where I went to registrar of companies and my boss was with me and I saw somebody going inside like a peon-like person. I asked my boss, who is this guy? He said, he's the ROC. And then we went inside, he opened the drawer, we had to put some money and then things got done. So that was the biggest shock. That kind of inclined me for CPA. You have to behave in a way where on one particular day, if your titles are stricken off, if the people working in your companies, they still respect you, then you are really a leader.
What is your view on audit and tax, and do you think that AI will play a very, very important role now?
Absolutely, without a doubt. It is already started playing the role. The world is going in a very, very different phase now. To answer your question, like whether you should be afraid of that, absolutely no. But whether you should be capable of using AI, absolutely yes.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Brains Behind Billions podcast. I'm your host Sripal Jain, CPA, co-founder of Simandhar Education. And today we have one of the amazing guests with us, Shrenik Shah. He's a chartered accountant, CPA, MD of Armanino India office. It's considered to be the top accounting firms in the US. Let's dive in and hear from the man himself, Shrenik Shah.
Thanks, Sripal, for having me. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Shrenik, from CA to CPA to MD, the journey has been just outstanding. So what made you do from zero to hero kind of stuff journey, right?
I don't know about zero to hero, but so from CA to CPA, it was more of a planned journey, I would say. When I was in my school days, approximately, I think I was in 8th standard, when I made my decision that I will go for CA. And my uncle was my main inspiration for that, my maternal uncle. Of course, at that time, we don't know like what is audit, what is tax, but the way he was respected in the community, in the professional world, that inspired me that I want to be someone like him, that who is inspired, who is kind of respected for his knowledge and who can add value to the society. So that was my journey. But when I started my CA, so I was so determined. So in my 10th standard, I was the topper in my school and 9th in the city, in Ahmedabad city. So, at that time, like they used to put like photographs in the newspapers and all that. So everybody assumed that, I'm sure you'll also recollect, like in those days, science was probably even today, like science is like number one selection if for the toppers. So by default, the assumption for all the society was like, okay, this guy will go for science. And my decision was made. Like I wanted to go for CPA and for CA and for commerce field. So the first objection came from my father. So he wanted to see me as an engineer, like a software engineer or something like that. So, but I was very determined that I want to pursue this. I'm very passionate about this. So, and all my schooling was in my Gujarati medium, regional language, vernacular language. So the second issue was like my school did not provide Gujarati medium commerce stream classes. So my principal told me that we can definitely take you in English medium. But that again was a question like, because the 11th and 12th are the foundation for accounting. So it was a question for me that should I continue with my school, because obviously it's your first school, the best school in the city. You don't want to leave that school. But on the other hand, it is a big question on your career. You want to make sure that the foundation is strong. So I consulted multiple teachers, some senior students as well, and they all suggested that foundation should be done in your vernacular language, because your language of study has been Gujarati, so you should study the Gujarati. Foundation should be strong. So I changed my school. I went to Delhi, and my first school was St. Xavier's Loyola. So that was also a big decision for me. The second thing, like when I appeared for my CN Vidyalaya, is I filed my application. That principal called me that you made a mistake. I said, what happened, sir? Instead of science, you applied for commerce. I said, I know, sir. So he said, like, call your father, call your parents. I want to talk to them. I said, I know, sir, but I'm very determined. I want to go for CA, and that's my choice. So then the journey started. The accounting, the step into accounting, that's how this started. Even in I was so determined. Like I used to go to my uncle's office. He lives in Baroda, and so I did my articleship in 10th itself. Like in my 10th vacation, I did my articleship there 2 months. Then again in 12th vacation, I did my articleship. Of course, the official articleship starts after foundation, but because I was so determined that I have to do this, so I want to start learning from day one. Then during the articleship after 12th also, like I got good grades, foundation first trial, passed the exam. Then I started my articleship. During my articleship, I learned, I had an experience where I went to a register of companies, and my boss was with me, and I saw somebody going inside like a peon like person. I asked my boss, like, who is this guy? He said, he's the ROC.
Oh,
So, and then we went inside, and he opened the drawer. We had to put some money, and then things got done. So that was the biggest shock. And that was like a life-changing event for me, that this is not what I dreamt for. So that made a big change, that I want to be respected for my knowledge, for the value that I bring in, not for these things. So from that day, I was very sure that I will not go for. Now things have changed. I mean, I'm just being very honest. Like now things are much smoother.
more online and all.
Everything is online and all that. Again, my fraternity, I have huge respect for the CA fraternity, but I'm just sharing my journey. So that day, I was very sure that I will never go for practice, and that kind of inclined me for CPA. That I wanted to do something. I wanted to have an extra edge over others, and I want to make sure that I have something more than others can offer. And that's why, and in those days, actually, there was, I forgot the name of that gentleman, that they used to come to Ahmedabad and have sessions in Gymkhana Club for Becker.
Oh,
So that was my first interaction with Becker. And that time, as you know, like that time, CPA, for taking the CPA exam, you have to travel to US. So there were so many, hurdles ahead of you, like visa and sponsorship and all those things.
which year that was, Shrenik?
I believe the first time I attended that session was, I'm not 100% sure, but sometime in like between 98 to 2000, because I was very, very sure.
1998 to 2000. That's
Yes.
like crazy. 25 years back.
Yes.
And that's how Becker legacy is.
Yes.
But yeah.
And I was also impressed with the curriculum that they explained. So then, fortunately, it's all great, God's grace. I mean, you know how tough the CA exams are. You're in the final exams. I was satisfied with my hard work, like whatever best I can, I did. But so 400 is the passing score. My roll number in final exam was 401. I got 401.
Awesome.
I was on cloud 9 on that day. But before my scores were released, like before I got my results, I had already taken the job in one of the back offices in Ahmedabad for a CPA firm in New York.
So you didn't start with a CA company. You
No.
rather started with a CPA firm.
Yeah, because I was very clear that
Okay.
I want to go for this profession.
Okay.
It inspired me to, like, it is so clean and very wider horizon that has, like, in terms of knowledge, in terms of respect, in terms of the clients that you have. And of course, that time everything was print material, but that also inspired, like, the smell of that print material was also, I still remember that. Because I went first time the Becker handed over those material, that this is what the CPA course looked like. Now everything is online, but
Yes.
I still remember the smell of that, the first brochure that I got. And I still remember that scene when in Gymkhana Club that they had. So it was an amazing thing. And then fortunately I got selected in one of the 4 people team for a graph repetition company for Ahmedabad office. So we were among the first 4. They were just
That's
starting.
GRC.
So first job, it was around the same time. August 10 was my first day when I started my journey. On 26 July, I got my results. So I obviously signed accepted the offer. And my first boss was the first one to recognize me as a CA, even though before my results, he gave me the offer letter as a CA.
Oh.
So that was also a journey. I mean, I have a huge respect for him. I really owe the firm for allowing us to do CPA, because that was a huge cost. You have to travel. You have
They
to
used to sponsor for the
Yes.
CPA? Okay. So for audience who are not aware about CPA, so like we have in India chartered accountants, US chartered accountants are known as CPAs, certified public accountants. So great, Shrenik, they sponsored for the course also.
Yeah. So, it was I don't want to even say the salary that I signed for, but I was not for that salary. Obviously, I was looking for the long-term vision, because they were giving the great opportunity to learn, and it was the first job. So, in the first step in the CPA world, so a lot of people also told that, what, are you sure you want to go for this? Because it's a unknown company, unknown field.
Exactly.
There are so many risks around.
This was in 2000.
No, it was in 2004.
2004, that means almost like 21 years back,
Yeah,
and we were
20
not
years back.
so globalized
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Right? It's a great step, yeah.
Yeah. And so our journey started. It was all about tax initially. The great part was, like, they were not just giving us the forms, and we had to just replicate in the software. They're just giving the training, actual training, like how things work. Like, just like we got the coaching in CA, right?
तो तब
Like-
salary कितनी थी?
Because my first salary was about 12,000.
12,000 per month? Oh, you can't expect the Gen Z to work
Yeah.
for that salary now.
But that was a big jump for me, because I was just getting in my articleship. We used to get until you get and if you're in the finals, you used to get 800, and then you pass the final. I just got like 1,100 rupees per month for just 1 month or 2 months, because
Wow.
I passed my CA first trial. So it was a great thing. I mean, and
Working at 800 rupees and 1100 rupees itself is an inspiration in.
it's not working for that. It does not even cover your commute costs, right? So, but it's more about learning. So even in my articleship, I did everything, like from from opening the office, getting the water, the tea, and to signing to get the returns ready for signing kind of
Such an inspiration, right? So we don't judge that time how the work is, and you kind of take it up everything, and that's where the ownership comes.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I say in a little more in Hindi, that we add color to that, so पानी भरने से partner तक का काम.
That's
So-
a very good analogy, right? पानी भरने से partner तक का काम.
Everything, like and we used to, in those days, not everything was e-filing, so you have to go to income tax offices for filing the returns, and you also have to manage your time, because after in the morning you have the classes, coaching classes for CA, from 11 to 6 or
It's
7.
always a very, very stressful
hectic,
kind of
very
and hectic kind of
very-
thing. And then how it happened, like, so you were working with GRCA, and like, how did it kind of go to global? So how did Shrenik Shah move to the US?
That is also a journey. So from 2004 to 2007, we started doing the work for graph preparing company for tax. In the meantime, our company sponsored for our visas, L1 visa, so that intercompany exchange can happen easily. And
So what is L1 like? Shrenik?
L1 is like intercompany. So if there is a subsidiary company in India and the parent company is in the US, if they want to exchange employees internally
So
from
आप
US.
US जा सकते हो वीजा पे कंपनी के थ्रू.
Right. It's a very, I mean, compared to H1, it is a very, very, I think, simple process.
और H1 में तो दोनों वीजा सेम है, like.
H1 is more on lottery based,
Okay.
and it's more on like luck, I would say.
अच्छा.
L1 is almost like a sure. I'm not sure
Driven
about
by
the
company.
Yes, it is, and it generally is driven by the company's background. So if the company is strong, generally there is no
They
issue.
give you
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and you can't change the job on it.
Yes, correct. So that is also companies, from company standpoint, also it's good, like people
Yeah,
start moving around.
they are sticking to that
Correct.
company.
Correct. So once we got the L1, one of my one of the 4 members, he went to the US. So my plan was to take the CPA exam after the business season is over. So April 15 is over, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But what happened? My one of my colleagues who went earlier, I think he went in January. So he passed all the exam with flying colors. So the team in India, team in the US was so impressed. I got a call on 28th February 2007 that, from my first boss, Devang Jai, that, Peter Graf, who was our then managing partner, that he's so impressed with the results of the first person who came. he wants you to be in the office. And I said, sir, when? He said, tomorrow or as soon as possible. And you can imagine in those days, to prepare for this long journey, and it was for 2 or 3 months, like not like 2 days or 2 weeks.
मुझे पता है when I went to the US, तिलक विलक सब लगाए थे एयरपोर्ट पे. So did it happen the similar thing for you?
Kind of, yes, absolutely. And it was the first out of India
वो
journey.
फर्स्ट रहता है,
Yeah.
एक्साइटमेंट रहता है कि भाई ये फर्स्ट बंदा है.
Absolutely. And there is also immense pressure because the first thing is like you want to be well prepared for your exam. So I was not fully prepared. I was preparing for after April so that I can focus on my studies.
Exactly.
But then I said these kind of opportunities don't come every day.
Again.
So I didn't want to lose that as well. So on 7th March I was in the US.
Oh.
So within 7 days, and I'm Jain, so there are so many other restrictions that I will think about.
The food and all is always a
Yeah, because you're going for the first time in the country, you don't know what's available, what's not available. So there were so many challenges, but it worked out. So when we went there for the first time, so everybody liked us, our work, and obviously even today I'm enthusiastic, but you're too much enthusiastic when you are going for the first time to the out of the country to the US, and
तो
then
वो माला भी पहनाया था?
no, I don't.
No, okay.
Obviously my parents came to drop me at the airport and all that. That's like a very usual
That
tradition.
time it was like it's a huge thing now. It's now also, but
Yeah.
वो जमाने में US जाना is a huge thing.
Huge thing, yeah. So and for 3 months, and for the first week or so, I stayed with my managing partner. So he was.
Where was it? आप US में कहाँ थे? Like,
So I was based in Long Island. His house was there. So I
which
took
location was that?
Long Island. I think I don't remember the exact borough, but so for first week I stayed with him. He was really a thorough gentleman, and I cannot say enough thanks to him for and the entire family, I would say. So then I took a couple of exams because whatever I thought like let me take the exams first before I start diving into the actual practical world in the US. So you're always anxious like how you dress, and it is a winter time in February, March. It's a very winter.
It's basically a culture shift as well.
Absolutely. It was a huge culture shift, and you're going there for the first time, so you want to be the best. You want to do give the first best impression in minds of everybody and all that. So there's immense pressure on that. So and taking the exam also is a kind of a challenge. You have to go to Prometric Center or in the train by your own. So again, that is also because you have to keep like what station you get off.
What is this and all.
So that actually went well. The only thing didn't go right was the audit part. So
Audit is considered to be the toughest paper though in CPA.
So I got 73.
Audit में हर ऑप्शन सही दिखता है. That is a big problem.
So out of 4 you can eliminate 2, but from 2 to 1 is like.
I always tell chartered accountants थोड़े जल्दी fail हो जाते हैं audit
Yes.
में. So
Because there is a reason for that actually. I personally feel that if I learned audit when I was doing audit CPA.
हाँ.
Because and again there is no I'm not trying to demean any other courses, but audit in CPA is like math. If you know the logic, you can easily crack it. But if you don't know the logic,
then it becomes a very tricky
Yes.
subject to pass.
And it is a rule of elimination, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to know it's not the right answer that you have to find. You have to find what are the 3 wrong answers.
Even the language is also very tough.
Absolutely. Even the comma can make the change in the answer. So anyway, coming back to the CPA journey. So then these kind of small 3-month what do you call the secondments happen from 7 to 9 for multiple times. So I used to spend almost like 6 months in a year.
So secondment क्या होता है एक audience के लिए like?
So secondment is like when a US company is sponsoring you for a short duration for training kind of person, or 3 months, maybe 6 months, depending on the use case. They sponsor you for stay and everything. So they'll give you some stipulated stipend kind of thing, and you can work and live there. So that is how I.
तो ये सबको करते हैं या मतलब जो performers है उनको आता है?
See, it's obviously it's a business decision.
Okay.
I mean, it obviously, if you are given the opportunity, and it's always like if the company is sponsoring somebody from the first time, If that does not go well, the second person may or may not get the good
Exactly. So
start.
it's a dependency.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, it is always a business case, right? I mean, whether it, because I'm talking about 20 years ago, right? Now the problem is like, even if you send somebody on secondment, people in the US are not in the office.
तो आपने एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज बोला था श्रेनिक कि आप लाइक यू आर इन द ट्रेन्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग वेयर टू स्टॉप एंड ऑल्सो इट्स अ वेरी बिग कल्चरल शिफ्ट.
Absolutely.
So how did you kind of manage that the US life?
So certain things, no matter how much guidance you get, but certain things you have to, experience that, right? So, like, for train stations, they are very, very meticulously, because in India, what happens, most of the things we are dependent on people. Like, again, if somebody tells you, hey Shripal, you come to my house, वहाँ पे एक रेस्टोरेंट है, उससे राइट ले लेना. तो
There's a lot of guidance.
and
US में वो नहीं है.
नहीं मतलब the way it has been, it's all based on, if you're given the instructions, you're supposed to follow that.
That's exactly our regulation section of CPAs. It's all about instruction based. The form gives you the instruction and you can't divert from any of those.
So in India, what happens, we generally ask somebody, hey, ये कहाँ पे है? कई बार सामने ही होता है तो भी हमें we don't follow the instruction. We don't read the signs and all that, because we are not trained to that.
Exactly.
So those were really good learnings. Like the first biggest aha moment, I would say, would be like when I was in the and this is after 2001 attack, right? So all the securities, everything was tightened up. So when you go to any building, they'll ask for the ID and all that, and then they'll let you know. So in the elevator, the first thing is like, if there are any ladies standing in the queue, you have to let them go. So very beautiful cultural thing here. I mean, of course, it's a lot of crowded and all that, and elevators are scarce and all that. But that was the biggest aha moment. Like, that's such a respect for women. Then the second biggest thing that I observed was like in the elevator, I was standing with like, let's say 4 people. When they moved out in my office, okay, one was the intern, the other was a partner.
Oh.
I could not figure it out, that who was a partner and who was an
It's
intern.
a very, very interesting thing. I noticed that in the US as well. When I visited the UI office, you can't differentiate who's the partner.
Correct.
So they all are. There is no hierarchy system.
Well, I think the other aspect of is like, and one of my senior partners told me once, like, you do not dress at what level you are. Dress like what you want to be.
Exactly.
So that is a huge change. Like, and even if you go, and also the other aspect of it, as far as respect goes, doesn't matter that person is a janitor or the receptionist or the partner. When it comes to respect, it is the same for all. They will all say good morning to you. They will all say the same respect you give back. The partner is expected to respond in the same
मैंने
way.
देखा है like when I was in NASBA, जब मैंने NASBA visit किया था तो NASBA के president ने मुझे invite किया था lunch के लिए, and the president was talking so like with the receptionist and all. So I was
Yeah.
like, he's the NASBA's president.
Yeah,
It's like 14 designations lower.
yeah.
So that's a huge
Yeah, I
thing.
think so. It's more about, so these one thing I learned significant. It was like a leadership lesson for me. Like, you have to behave in a way where, on one particular day, if your titles are stricken off, like somebody snatch away everybody's title, if the people for working in your companies, they still respect you, then you are really a leader. Otherwise, you're not.
That's a great leadership lesson for all of them, right? So how you kind of treat others, it kind of becomes an example. And US have taught you that.
Absolutely.
And so how did that short-term stint become like a
Long term, yeah.
long-term in the US?
So those secondments kept going, and I did it for almost 3 to 4 years. And in 2002, we built a rapport with one of my senior managers. I built a good rapport with I used to handle their HNI clients from India. So he decided to retire in a couple of years. So he said, like, if you can come down, I can hand over gradually all the clients, and you can be the front end person for those clients.
That's how Shrenik Shah came into existence.
Well, I mean, that was a great opportunity. I mean, again, that is again over a period of time. So it's a hard work of 3 or 4 years when you keep going, keep consistently doing the hard work, consistently delivering the quality work, and building the trust. That's more important, right?
Great.
I mean, of course, in those 6 or 7 secondments, made several mistakes, but you have to learn from that. You have to make sure that it doesn't go again, and you have to learn from your own mistakes, somebody else's mistakes. So they were like, we'll talk about mistakes also. But that's when I got the opportunity. So along with my family, we moved to US, living in Jersey, working in New York. So that's how we started off.
New York life is outstanding at that time. How was it?
So I would say all that glitters is not gold. So what you know so if you ask me whether you would like to so I'll come to that part, like when I moved back and all that. So one of my managing partner, like Joel Cooperman, he asked me once, like, whether you like to work in the US or in India, whether you like to live in US or in India. So I gave an answer like, I would like to live in the US from 9 to 6, and I would like to live in India after that.
Oh,
So-
that's great.
That is like, as far as the work life is concerned, I think
US
it's
is good.
Yeah. And I'm saying, like, the culture wise, like, you have your own freedom. You have people respect you just like any other person, like whether you're a partner or a staff person, you have the same respect, you have the same liberty. And to some extent, those values are not seen in Indian work culture most of the time, I would say. When it comes to the personal life or the social life, nothing beats India, right? You can meet your friends and family. So that was the intention. We'll talk about that when how it came back, and I tried to kind of get the best of the both the worlds. So that's how my journey started, and that's where my real learning started, because I had my front, I was the front face, for the clients, representing the firm, and of course, that before that, my immediate boss, senior manager Suresh Shah, he would review everything, and before even he's allowed me to start sending emails to my clients, he would review it, and then after some time he said, okay, now you can directly interact with, because see, in the US, when you're interacting with clients, I'll give you a simple example to understand, like, how much care they take about when it comes to clients. If a client sent some information to you, and you just cannot find in your files, okay? In India, what we'll just send an email right away that, okay, this not, can you please send it again? Can you please send it? That's not allowed. I mean, that's not a good sign of a good accountant, because that will be seen as like you are not meticulous about, you're not paying attention to our work. So we have to make sure 3 times, make sure that you do not have that information, then and only then, or else sometimes what happens, for example, you're working on a return and you're working on also some other entities of the same client, right? Some partnerships and all that, internally only. Sometimes by accident you ask that K1, like, can you please send a K? You are only preparing that. Your firm is only preparing that. So that kind of blunders cannot happen.
So attention to details is very important.
Yes. So you cannot, the point is you cannot spend, or I would say waste, your client's 1 extra minute because of your inaccuracy. Big learning for that. It's a small thing. But if you consider, like, the way we operate in India, or I'm general comment, I don't want to be, like, we are a little more casual, that we just ask, like, okay, can you please send it again? But that shows a negative aspect, that you are not careful about what I was already sent, already submitted.
And they don't like kind of reminders again, like,
Well, if it is a genuine reminder, like if something they didn't submit,
I lost my file, you get it, you send me, so you think that that's taken a little negatively because the file is not lost. It's still there, but you didn't pay attention to details, and you're again asking the same thing, and that shows that you're not serious towards work.
And so when you are dealing with these clients, I mean, these HMI clients are so sharp. I'm telling you, like, we had a client, like, he was a brilliant lawyer. He was also running, a company for electric vehicles. Tesla is all later on, but this was like his brainchild for several years ago. If you are sitting in that meeting, he would remember even the color of the tie that you're wearing.
Oh,
So you cannot even. So if in those days, nothing was on like Teams and all that. Like you can't. You have to take a note of
It's
everything.
more like a photographic memory.
Photographic memory. And but point is, like, if he said something or you said something that this will be taxable, non-taxable, whatever, in particular meeting, you have no chance to go back, even though it was not recorded. Right, today in MS Teams or Zoom, everything is recorded. Like you can say there's copies, and then you can refer that. Okay, you say that this was taxable
It's
or not.
more like a co-pilot does the minutes of
Correct.
meeting.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the US, and you spent so much of time in the US, and then you shifted back to India and headed a firm, that is a complete transformation, right? And heading a firm in India, and that also which is reporting to US, because there are a lot of complexities with respect to timings, with respect to culture. So how did you first hire a team, then scaled it to
Yeah.
350 plus,
Yeah.
etc., and now with Armanino
And when it's also like we are hitting 280 now.
280 now. So what is the trick of Shrenik scaling up like that?
So honestly, there is no hidden secrets on that. Like so, both the journeys were different, honestly speaking, because that was my first experience with Citron, and Armino is the second. Although same level of companies, similar kind of clients and all that, the way I did with both is completely different. Because that was Citron was obviously the first experience, so even I was very immature in terms of as a leader. A lot of mistakes happened and all that. So until 2018, I was probably one of the worst leaders. But I think the starting point is alignment of goals. That is very important. Like, why? So if you consider from, you must have seen like from Google, you zoom in, right? From 35,000, you say, okay, that is India. Then you go down to that's Gujarat, and then you go on Ahmedabad. So that is exactly what you have to do. First, alignment of goals with the top management. Like, what is their vision? What kind of goal that you want to achieve with the India team? Then it comes to the strategy, like in terms of infrastructure, the target talent. You have to also identify like where you will get the right talent, because every firm is different. Like, Citron is different, Amana is quite different, Sikish could be different, and, all different. They have the different kind of clients, obviously, right? So you are not catering to the same clients. If you're not catering to the same clients, your strategy should be different.
Exactly.
Right? And I always give an analogy like, even though sometimes the clients are different, people are different. Clients are same, then also people are different. Like one technology client and other technology, they won't behave the same way. Like in Hindi, if I want to say, आप माँ और मौसी दोनों के घर की दाल अलग अलग बनती है.
Exactly. हाँ.
दोनों साथ में ही पले बने हुए, तो फिर भी अलग टेस्ट क्यों है? Because it's different. Like they are different human beings. So you have to understand what is the goal that they want to achieve.
So that depends on the US leadership. Like they can tell you, like, Shrenik, this is where we want to scale India, and then according, so it's a backward integration kind of.
Absolutely. So that is the first thing. Second most important thing is going for long-term infrastructure, which is sustainable. So, for example, starting with IT, like in terms of security, you cannot take a shortcut in those things, because there'll be a lot of red flags once you start taking shortcuts on those things. The third most important thing is building the right team. So that is the biggest investment, I would say, because the first 100 team, that is your, very, very crucial team, because that is your foundation. If your foundation is strong, you can scale like anything. So you have to invest.
And you used to personally interview these guys?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So all the first 100 people were interviewed by you?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Even today, even if it is like in final interview, I do sit. And if I'm not sitting in the final interview, before they join, I have one casual connect call with my candidates before they join as an employee. And that is not just that I want to, it's out of respect that because they have chosen Armanino. It's my duty to at least connect with them in a way of thank you.
This is amazing, actually. And so is it with interns also you spend that time, or like only for the time you kind of...
So in Citron, we used to have interns. Armino, we are on the process. So maybe next year we might start taking interns. But it doesn't matter what title they are. They are joining as a team member. So they are becoming part of Armino family. So doesn't matter whether they are joining as a staff level or director level, they have to be respected. They have to, it's like, somebody's joining your family. You have to make sure that you show the warmth, and you kind of welcome them with all the warmth and open arms. So that is very important. So but before that, the due diligence has to be done. Like, you have to grill them in terms of technical expertise, in terms of cultural fit. That's very important, because sometimes people might be good in technical aspects, but their vision is very short term. Like, so my
You
biggest
want to stay for a year or
Correct.
so like that.
And these questions, I generally, my first question, like, why you want to join Harmony?
So that gives them like this is a solid reason like why he wants to join.
Because obviously, if my goal is to fill up 500 people, I would just say, okay, if somebody's accepting, don't even ask that question, because that might give some negative.
100%.
So but my our philosophy is very, very clear from day one, that we do not want to scale at the cost of quality, and quality of the people and work both.
Awesome. So what systems kind of if I want to kind of ask the finance and accounting professionals, and systems has become a very, very important thing, because businesses runs on three things. One is system, one is
People, process, technology.
process, technology.
Yeah,
I'm coming to the systems because technology is playing a huge role.
absolutely.
And people who are watching us today, Shrenik, they are extremely afraid that AI will automate a lot of the things. What is your view on audit and tax, and how AI could kind of, do you think that AI will play a very, very important role now?
Absolutely, without a doubt, it is already started playing the role. So
Okay.
if let's take a zoom out first. Let's take like what's happening in the accounting industry, okay, at a very high level. So there are two major things happening. One is very low inflow of the people who want to pursue accounting as a career in the US and Spain. So there is a less inflow of students who want to pursue accounting. Number two is, there are, in next decade, I think read in one of the journals, most likely it was WSJ. I think 75% of the current workforce is going to retire.
Accounting firms.
In accounting firms.
Homeowners.
So that is like, there's going to create a huge vacuum there. The second thing that is happening is inflow of AI. So at the end of the day, you have only two options. One is to use AI for the redundant or mundane jobs, which can be done by like basic accounting thing, basic data entry thing that can be taken. I mean, that. I mean, we have been using that and reconciliations, or Armanino has developed his own software called Audit Ally, which helps in SOC audits.
Oh,
So-
amazing.
So you can imagine if firms like Armanino, like accounting firms, have started developing software. So the world is going in a very, very different phase now. So to answer your question, like you should be whether you should be afraid of that, absolutely no. But whether you should be capable of using AI, absolutely yes. You should not be afraid of that. It's like, today, in today's world, if I tell you that you be afraid of using mobile phone, because there are a lot of frauds going on. I said, yes, that happens, but you should know how to deal with that.
So AI is more like an enabler.
Enabler, yes.
और अपना जो business है, it's more like a relationship business.
Absolutely.
So relationships can't be automated by AI, because everyone uses ChatGPT just for an example.
Yeah, ChatGPT is like I think the most minimalistic tool in AI, I would say. But different firms. So if you see in future, like different firms will have their own customized AI.
So फिर Shrenik, जब हर बंदे like they're using AI, so how will a client differentiate कि मुझे श्रेनिक के पास जाना चाहिए या श्रीपाल के पास जाना चाहिए?
So from client perspective, it is more about efficiency and accuracy.
Response time.
Because for example, if your firm says, sir, we can do this in $10,000 and with 98% of accuracy. If I say I can do it for $8,000 with 100% accuracy, they'll go with this.
So they want the quality and they want the cost.
Absolutely. And AI's use is going to be on both. More accuracy and more efficiency.
Is it becoming like through AI, we are listening that clients are started negotiating the pricing? Or are we using the pitch that AI will improve the productivity? Or are we telling that AI will improve the efficiency. If that's the case, then clients start negotiating with you straight away that you're using AI, so why are you quoting so much higher?
Yeah. So, it's funny, like, Armanino has, I would say, probably 30% of technology clients. So if they are building that, they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
So it is going to happen, but at the same time, I'm giving a very simple example to understand. If one return used to take 5 hours of your time, tax return, simple tax return, used to take 5 hours, including preparation, review, processing, everything. Now, with the help of AI, let's say if you're sitting in 2035 and it is taking hardly 1 hour, that does not mean that you will be able to bill only 1 hour of fees. But that also means that you'll be able to 5 times of work that you are able to do today.
Yeah.
There could be possible scenarios where you turned off, you did not accept the work because you did not have the capability to cater those clients. So now you can do much more in less time.
And still demand a premium.
Absolutely.
Because we are not charging a T&M model. We are still telling that AI will improve productivity, not that it have decreased the hours, so you will quote me less. So it cannot go negative against the firm.
So you touched upon a very critical aspect, like time and material billing, which is the current scenario right now. So most of the accounting firm or professional firms generally bill their clients on time and material. Like if I worked on 5 hours based on X rates, that will be my chargeability. But that focus is going to shift to value-based accounting, value-based billing. Because what value you are adding to your client, that is going to,
so it will no longer be per hour model, it will be value per hour model.
Yeah.
I would say. Amazing, Shrenik. This is like fantastic insights. So is there any example where AI kind of, you've seen that clients started negotiating it?
Well, it was not a negotiation, but the fee structure itself was so tight that we recently had an experience where we had to fill out 3,000 forms for very, like 3,000 individual forms for a one big client, but 3,000 forms, okay, different forms. Now, if we subscribe to software charges and all that, that would be like, we cannot serve in that kind of fee. So we reached out to a tech leader and she built a bot which created those forms.
Wow.
Within like fraction of the time, like fraction of the minutes, all the forms were done. So that's how it's, as you said, like it is an enabler rather than,
And the client still paid the whole money.
Of course.
Amazing. Now, when we talk about Armanino, right, and it's so future centric, and like you said, AI is more like an enabler now. So for a student, how do they kind of, so people who are watching us, especially not just students, even the finance and accounting professionals, if there is a choice between audit and tax and a mid firm and small firm and big fours, how do they, so अपने टाइम पे तो there were very less choices, right? हम CA करते थे, mom dad बोलते थे, and we used to go ahead, and then we used to do CPA. अभी इतने options आ गए हैं, the confusion is more. So how do they first come, and let's break it into some three parts. First is they pass, so should they select a big four or should they select a small firm or a mid firm? Second part, after they select, should they select audit or should they select tax? Third, after that, is the work timings very, very hectic, or how is it like? So you will need to talk about the profile, about the company, about the culture. Yeah.
So it reminds me a story when somebody asked the Devi that you give me, the Devi said like you have one Vardhan to ask, and he said, okay, the one Vardhan I want is like three, give me three Vardhan, and then that kind of, you are pakka baniya. So, okay, let's start with so after passing, what firm to select, right? That's your first question, like a mid-sized firm or a big firm. So when it comes to selection of the firm, I think it starts with you. So if you have no clarity, like what is a good field for me, I think you should invest good time. It could be 6 months, it could be 1 year, in identifying what opportunities lie ahead of you. Because right now we are talking about audit and tax, but they itself are an ocean, like in itself, right? If you talk about just tax, within tax, you want to go for estate, you want to go for trust, you want to go for individuals, you want to go for partnerships. What kind of specialization you want to go for?
How will that as a professional understand that audit is my cup of tea or tax is my cup of tea? How do I identify?
So just like in CA, what we do is like articleship.
But here there is no internship. One example like CPA.
Yeah, but you can always go for a firm which can probably give you more exposure to all kind of things.
So that you would get it through references.
Yeah.
I'd ask your friends there or colleagues there, like
There
which
are, like,
work is better.
hundreds of firms which have multiple.
And then you have ChatGPT to research.
Yeah,
So audit
absolutely.
good, tax good.
Because I think you're not even considering accounting, because accounting is more or less seen as it's more of QuickBooks and all that, but that's not the case.
Exactly.
Trust me, accounting today at Armanino, we have roles open for FP&A, which directly works with the CFO of the.
It's more like insights, more value addition, like we discussed last time. So world, can I conclude that world is moving from compliance to value addition?
Absolutely. That's bang on actually. So coming to so first I would say, like, invest more time in understanding, like,
Which
what are the
firms give
different.
you how much exposure?
Exactly. Then also, like,
So that is sorted out. So
yeah.
you decide that, okay, like for an example, Armanino gives a lot of exposure and I joined there. Now, where do I join? Again, it's depend on, is it audit and tax both have a lot of exposure. So how do I select one?
So again, I cannot tell you that what you like. You have to decide what is my cup of.
How do we decide that?
So that is again understanding, because first of all you have to talk to some people. Like, if you do not want to go and start.
Or at least start like an internship, which you said.
Internship is, I think it's a good investment, because if you do 3 months of internship in any firm, you will at least get a good idea, like, how things work in US field. Because working in a US based firm and working in an Indian firm, first of all, it is a lot of cultural difference. Second of all, a lot of use of technology. Then the expectations are different.
But then how do we see, like, Shrenik? So if I pass and qualify, do you think that they would work for internship? Because every time internship opportunities are not available. So
Then you join a firm which, okay, let's say you evaluated, because you have gone through the studies, right? Like, you have gone through the audit.
You're telling in technical subjects where they study, they would know that, okay, this is not something I like.
Correct.
So I think the liking comes from the technicality.
Correct. And then other thing is, there are so many, nowadays you have so many platforms like LinkedIn and all that. You can connect with leaders. You can connect with, experienced professionals, like 5 years experienced professionals, who, just like you and I are doing podcasts, they can have some good.
In fact, they can watch this podcast.
They can actually talk to them. They should talk to them if they want to invest, because the
Okay,
biggest.
why did Shrenik Shah like tax?
Honestly speaking, at that time, that was the only thing that was available. But I was in love with tax. I was in love with numbers from from my articleship in CA. So I was almost sure that I can make a good career in this. But as and when I started doing more, I had an opportunity to even work on a $300 million estate tax return. And estates income tax return as well.
So there's a lot of client interactions in
Absolutely.
tax versus audit, because audit is more compliance and it's more of a back end in India.
Yeah, again, there are like different facets of each field. Like, as you mentioned, like tax might have, but again, not from day one you may have.
Yeah, but it's like, at least you're telling in tax, it's little expedited. Or I would say rapid way may you can interact with client. You will have a journey in tax also. You'll be a staff and then.
Of course.
But in audit, it takes more time is what you're telling when you speak to the client.
So when it comes to talking to the client, yes, there may be different phases of, like, depending on your, not just on technical skills, but also in communication skills also different.
Awesome.
So if you ask me, after 20 years of journey, I would say I have just touched the surface of the sea in tax. That kind of depth is there in each field, like tax and audit and consulting and accounting also. So it depends on what is your liking. Coming to the second point about the culture.
Now, does audit and tax both are very, so we see tax is very, very hectic. And we listen the same from audit.
So obviously, if firm are hiring you, they will definitely get benefit out of you. So coming to the culture, so I use analogy of mango tree theory. Like, I feel that, your focus should be on professional excellence. That's your mango. Like, if your goal is to grow mango, first thing is you have to have patience. You cannot get that done in 2 years. You have to, because right now people want to be partner in 5 years. That is not going to happen. I mean,
even it's come from the Gen Z mindset of the attention deficiency.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to generalize when Gen Z have good qualities as well. Alpha is also, like, I gave an example, like one of my friend's son, he's in 10th grade. He has passed 2 papers of
ACCA.
So Gen Z, if Gen Z is listening to this podcast, I want to say that be ready for sharp-minded alpha because they will be much more advanced in terms of technical skills, in terms of technological skills.
So I think that's a very, very good thing is to know that the culture is completely.
I just want to complete my mango tree theory. Sorry to interrupt. So when you are looking for professional excellence, there are, let's talk about mango. So you want to select the right land first. So in terms of professional excellence, you want to select the right firm which can provide you the opportunities, because mango cannot be grown in every field.
Yes.
So as a professional, you cannot grow in any firm that you go. You have to
You need to select where the mango can grow.
You have to do a due diligence, because that's going to provide opportunities.
Agree.
The other three things: you need water, you need fertilizer, you need sunlight or climate.
So who's the water here?
So you need constant flow of work. Because I have seen a lot of people who work 3 years, but their billable hours were 1200. So it's like,
I've seen that in Big Fours also. I don't want to name that, but they're just sitting idle and
yeah,
and then they lay them off.
And there are people who have put 1800 hours in 1 year.
Yeah.
So their experience is much more high.
Exactly. They get more exposure.
Then second is fertilizer. That is a very cream and quality training. That's very, very important, because nobody asks like what kind of training you provide. I was so amazed that Armanino has so many different portals, Elsa Vista and LinkedIn Learning. I personally have 2 hours allocated on Friday just for LinkedIn Learning courses.
And in fact, I'm one more thing I wanted to share the audience. Though we are tied up with Shrenik and you guys sponsor for CPA as well. It's a huge thing that shows how much you're invested in learning for people.
Absolutely. And the third thing is climate. That's the work culture.
Yes.
The
Which
climate
atmosphere they are living.
So today, if I'm sitting with 10 CPAs around me, I'll be by default encouraged to do CPA. But if I'm sitting where like nobody's doing anything, nobody's like pursuing any studies, and they're like BCom, MCom, not too much focus on the careers, I will also, even if I'm even if I'm capable of doing something, I will not. It's like वो भेड़ के बीच में वो शेर चला जाता है, शेर का बच्चा ऐसा हो जाएगा.
ऐसा हो जाता है. Correct.
So then after these three things, what you ultimately get is juicy mangoes after maybe 10 years. Okay, that is your investment of your time. Now, the other two things that people actually go after is the compensation and the title. I say that is a byproduct. You don't have
Doing
to go
the
for
good
it.
work, you automatically get.
So if you grow the mangoes, as a farmer, do you expect that, okay, I must have 10,000 leaves and 1,000 branches? Do you ever expect that? Do you ever even goal for that or aim for that? That's
you know that it will be like, it will grow best if you do it properly.
If you are aiming for professional excellence, that I want to be an expert in estate tax, that nobody should know better than me, I will be the best one, then title and money is going to follow you. You don't have to chase that.
This is outstanding. The mango theory, I would say I can resonate very, very well at Simandhar, to be honest. One question from the audience perspective is, how's the growth? पहले स्टाफ होता है, हाउस द पोजीशंस, अगर एक बंदे को ज्वाइन करते हैं वो अकाउंटिंग या फाइनेंस में, व्हाट इज द हायरार्की, स्टाफ, सीनियर, ये चक्कर क्या है, मतलब हाउ इज इट?
सो every firm has their own hierarchy, and I have seen that even major firms, they have different hierarchy in US, and in India they have different hierarchy, because Indian culture demands like we want more promotions and all that, so that's a different cultural aspect of that. But in general, you start as a staff, then the next step is senior.
Okay.
Then generally some firms have supervisor, otherwise it may have manager level.
So they can name it as manager. Okay.
And then it is a director.
Okay.
So at a high level, if I have to define the major responsibilities, the staff is more of preparation work, understanding like, the ins and outs and all that. Senior is like preparation plus a little bit of review.
Oh, awesome.
And then supervisor or manager is like lot of review, and then less of preparation, lot of review. That is like a stepping stone towards the management, like some middle management level. Then some firms have senior manager, director, so that is like more into going to BD level.
And what would be the salary of a director?
Well, again, it depends on firm to firm.
Like technically an average salary for a director.
So I would say director with minimum 15 years of experience, they can easily make beyond 50 lakhs.
Amazing. So that's a great career path for a professional.
A disclaimer: it should not be taken as a
average. I mean, it's a mandate salary.
A lot of asterisks are there. Like,
Agree.
What is your?
That's fine. I mean, it's an average salary. What does legacy means to you, Shrenik?
So I'm assuming you are asking in both professional and personal.
Personal.
Okay. So personal legacy, so I can give you a very live, real example. I studied in St. Xavier's Loyola, and I was a throughout a star performer. So my brother was 9 years. My brother is like 9 years younger to me. So when he was admitted to the school, I told him that you're getting the admission because of my legacy. So, but when you move out of the school, I should be known as your brother.
Exactly.
So that is the same thing. Like when you join a firm, probably sometimes people know you. Okay, that person is from this firm. But when you leave the firm is known by you. Okay, he worked with that. He worked at this firm. So I can relate that to a real life example that happened with me. Like when I left Citrin, I decided to move out, and that decision was made public. Within a couple of days, I got a call from one of my employees' father after a couple of days, and he said, like, wherever you're going, my son is coming with you at half salary or no salary.
Wow.
That is probably a legacy, I would say.
It's a great legacy which you have left, Shrenik. It's amazing how you create that, right? So one more thing I just wanted to add quickly was two of my alumni. I mean, one of them have opened their own CPA firm as well, Krina, and one of them have moved to the US with almost like 60, 70 lakh salary, and he has a H1 as well, Surya Teja.
Yeah.
How are you producing such amazing people? Like, what is one leadership quality, if I want to summarize this, like, what is that you, and they still remember you? Like you said, spoke about the legacy, but these two alumni also here, Shrenik is good. So what is that one thing which you pitch?
So I personally feel that as a leader, your role is not just to lead them, but also to identify, first of all, challenge them, that they have much more to achieve than what they think, right? And then, push their boundaries. Like, because I still remember there were like a couple of people who did not even think about CPA. But today they are CPA, they are making really good salaries. It's not about the salary, it's about their achievement. That there are several chartered accountants or maybe semi-chartered accountants who had the dream to become CA. But they could not fulfill their dream because they fell short in marks and all that, or some social circumstances. But CP is one degree which can really fulfill their dreams as completing one particular degree and also give a great professional career. And they can be really proud about what they achieve. So that's what I feel that everybody should aspire for.
So I think this is a fantastic answer, right? Leaders can see what others can't. So you saw that they have a huge potential and you push them to that.
So Shripal, you asked so many questions. Now, if you allow me, I would like to ask one question.
Sure, Shrenik. I hope I should be able to justify this. Yeah.
So I've been watching you since almost 6-7 years now, and one thing that really stands out is like the level of energy. You are kind of that frontier of CPA field. So how do you maintain that energy? Like you run 4 a.m. club. You're always you're teaching the students during the day, and then you are meeting all these leaders and doing podcasts. And I always see you running around, like today you're in Bangalore, tomorrow you're in Hyderabad, and the other day you're in Ahmedabad. How do you maintain that energy and that charm across? Like what keeps you going?
I think the most important thing which keeps me going is my own struggles which I experienced. So we came from a very lower middle class background. So we always have respected the money, and we have seen our dad, we have seen our mom. We grew in that manner. So I can relate that completely. So whenever a student is investing a single rupee also, I'm very mindful of the outcomes.
Awesome.
And that's where that kind of pushes me that I should do my 2 times of what they have invested. And one more thing I like doing is, because when I passed chartered accountancy, no one was there to place me. And it took me 6 months to get a job.
Oh,
and it was like off campus. I decided that time that whenever I'll open my own a company or so, I'll ensure that my students don't struggle with that.
That gives me goosebumps, man. And this is I can resonate with your story, because when I passed my CA, I took a pledge that because of GRC, because of my boss, I could pass this. And when there is one CPA in firm or one CA in firm, the entire family comes out of that hardship.
Exactly. And I think, Shrenik, a lot of credit goes to you because you were the one who started the internship model. And Surya Teja is one live alumni which I spoke. He went on to earn 70, 80 lakhs in the US. So I think that gives a lot of satisfaction to us that they can prepare, they can pass the exam, provided with the firm support.
Yeah.
and you made it happen. So that was a dream that my students also tomorrow get that. So when I see the reality, what we think about, and that makes me more energized that I should add more value to them. And
Yeah, I just want to clarify, like, so I personally feel that there is no single person. It's all about teamwork.
yeah,
So it's all about your mentors, all about your team members. Even though they are subordinates, they indirectly inspire you.
yes,
Then all about your gurus and your teachers, whose blessings always are there with you. And the more you respect them, it comes like 100 times back in one or other forms.
truly agree, Shrenik. So we are coming to the most interesting part of our podcast, and that is the rapid fire. I know a lot of them kind of
This is a
are
surprise. for me.
eagerly waiting for that. So I'll start that with Shrenik, and I'm hoping that Shrenik will definitely get a hamper. So Shrenik, it's a quick rapid fire for you, and it has to be very short and precise because attention span is very less. So let's see. Audit or tax?
Both.
Why?
Because both have their great values.
If given a chance for Shrenik to do C again, will you do it or not?
In next birth, probably no.
C or CPA?
Well, both have their own values. But as of today, if you ask like what has more value in terms of return of investment, in terms of growth, I would say CPA.
Shrenik with 16 lakhs in Deloitte or Shrenik with 8 lakhs in Citrin? Which one Shrenik would have selected today?
I would say it is not about money. It is all about my value. So if my goal is to be somebody who can manage the firm and who can understand the clients and client interactions, it would be definitely a mid-sized firm like Citrin or Armanino. But if it is like just do the job or maybe to get a tag for Big Four, just because there are a lot of people who have Big Four, they are Big Four fans, then it would be a Big Four. But to me, it is always, the brands never attract me. I'm always attracted by the values and the kind of value addition I give it back to the firm.
Okay. Shrenik in Citrin or Shrenik in Armanino?
That is, if you ask me 8 years back, I would have a different answer. Definitely Armanino at today.
Shrenik for India or for US? If given a chance, do you want to be permanently settling in the US or?
9 to 6 in US, after 6 in India.
But still, if given a chance, do you want to permanently settle? Would it be US or would it be?
As of today, India is great.
And what about the future?
I don't know.
Okay. Shrenik for AI, will it automate or will it not?
Of course, we'll go for automate.
Last question of our rapid fire. Let's see if you can answer this. Given a chance for Shrenik to leave his job and spend time with family and not do anything at Armanino.
Well, as long as I achieve my goals, that why I chose Armanino to add value to this firm and to the team in the US and in India. If I've achieved that, I would definitely retire. I would not mind retiring. I would rather aim for that because retiring also requires planning.
Retirement planning. Amazing, Shrenik. I think definitely we should give a gift for sure. And yeah. Okay. So Shrenik gets the much needed, the most important part of our podcast is our gift.
Thank you so
Thank you so much, Shrenik, for giving your time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.